All right, so welcome everyone to this very brief presentation on the idea of the vibration of the Most High. My name is Dr. Harry Benjamin, very pleased and excited. We are working on what's called the Wealth Creation Project, and a part of becoming wealthy is really becoming clear on our identity, becoming clear on the obstacles, the hindrances that are blocking us and affecting us from being able to live the lifestyles that we desire. So we have a conversation that allows for us to look at some of the areas from a spiritual standpoint that we have been using to interfere with our unfolding of our gifts, our talents, our capacities, and to live the lifestyle that we truly desire. So we have this conversation a few times a week. On Sundays, we go a little bit more into topics relating directly with the deeper aspects of our creator and understanding ourselves. And then during the week, we do some topics on leadership development and so forth. And plus, we have a business that we're running as well. So very comprehensive approach to developing ourselves. It's not a one-lane deal. So welcome to our conversation. And today it will be a little bit more of a dialogue than a panel of us. Sometimes there's a group of us that talk, but today we're going to keep it very simple. Happy holidays for some of us in the world. I know some of us in the world are celebrating, whether it's Hanukkah, Christmas, Hanukkah, there are different Kwanzaa, right? Not Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas. And I can't remember the other Festival of Lights. So different people celebrate different things at this time of the year. The Chinese celebrate differently. They have a new year coming up in February. So we are celebrating, some of us, most of us in the world probably are celebrating this time of the year, one form of celebration or the other. And as a consequence, we know that some of our attendees that normally jump on here and be a part of our conversation, they will not be with us today because of having to attend to different forms of celebration events. So we do understand that. All right, and then today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break on the following Sunday and the Sunday, next 2 Sundays, 2 or 3 Sundays, but I'll send out the messages when we reconvene so that individuals can have that time with their families and be able to celebrate over the holidays and have fun. All right. But today we're going to talk about the vibration of the Most High, and I have with me Annette, and Annette and I and a couple of others that are going to participate, but the others are going to be participating by listening. But Annette and I are going to talk about the vibration of the Most High and what it is that means. So let me ask you, Annette, from your perspective, what does the vibration of the Most High mean to you? What does that statement suggest to you? Could you come off mute and just speak from your heart as to what you think that means from your perspective? Your line is okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm thinking the vibration is like sometimes you just get a vibration of like things to do something, like something in your mind or something telling you to do this. That's like a vibration come, and then get up and go and get this done. This is what I think about a vibration.
Okay, that's a nice perspective. Thank you for sharing that. So the vibration means something that's vibrating, right? So something that has a movement. So there's a frequency associated with a vibration. For example, if something is vibrating really fast, let me use a simple an explanation as I can. When we use a big magnifying glass and we look at this pen, right? When the magnifying glass starts to look at this pen, to the eyesight, we see a pen, right? We see a solid pen. But when we use a very powerful magnifying glass and we start to look at the pen, the first thing that we start to notice is that the pen is made up of certain a molecular structure. We start to see that there is spaces in between the cells that are actually and the atoms that are connected and give rise to what we see as something physical. So we start to see that there are some spaces in between, and it's not solid the way it looks to our eyes. But what we have to use a magnifying glass to expand it to start to see that there are some spaces in between what looks solid. And then when we start to expand it more and we look at the atoms that make up the molecular structure and they're connected by what look like some bands, are some little sticks. If you've ever seen a molecular structure, you'll see a round one connected to another round one, and then they're all connected together, and then we get the shape, right? So
Yeah.
each of the atoms, when you start to zone in on them, you soon start to see that the atoms have some smaller components inside of the atom, and there's spaces in between those components. I can't remember what they're called, whether they're molecules or whatever. I can't remember the scientific jargon, but we start to come down, and when the magnifying glass goes bigger and we look at the components of the atom, we start to see that there's an energy that's actually moving like this. That's what scientists have seen. So what's happening is that what we see here is just molecules and atoms that are vibrating at a certain frequency. Now, when something is vibrating at a low frequency, it shows up to our eyesight as something solid. When something is vibrating at a very fast frequency, it becomes invisible. Have you ever like spun a piece of rope before, right? With, let's say you tie
Yeah.
something on the end of the rope and we spin it around or
Yeah.
spin it around. And after a while, if you spin it fast enough, what happens to the rope itself? You notice that you no longer see it. It disappears, right? It looks like it disappears. The reason why it's not visible to the eye is because it's spinning so fast.
So fast, yeah.
Right. So what happens is that the frequency or the vibration of something, the faster it goes, the more invisible it seems. So everything really has a component to it from an energy standpoint. And that vibration that we're talking about today is the vibration of the Most High. So the vibration of the Most High, the highest vibration that you and I can tap into. Now, that vibration is the vibration of our Creator. And I'm getting a little feedback from your side, so maybe we could unmute and mute as we go along, right? So that we could have a clear, so that our listeners can hear us without the thank you, Annette. So the vibration of the Most High speaks to the vibration or the frequency of the Most High or Creator. That's what that term relates to. And what benefit is that to you and I? How can that be useful to you and I to be able to, in a practical way, use that and apply that to our lives so that it becomes useful to us? And here's the reason. Here's the benefits to seeking out, understanding, and in some ways seeking to embody the vibration of the Most High. Because what happens is that inside of the vibration of our Creator are the highest qualities that you and I could ever aspire to. Qualities like love, peace, joy, wisdom, transforming knowledge, intelligence, the opportunity to know something without a process of reasoning called direct knowing. So a lot of this and more, what the world and people in the world would call miraculous, is really just simply aligning ourselves and allowing the vibration of the Most High to become an active part of our awareness, an active part of how we live. So the vibration of the Most High relates to that. It's where you and I can do our spiritual work. And by doing our spiritual work, we can literally start to feel the vibration of our Creator. We can start to feel that frequency of our Creator in us. We start to feel more love coming through us, more peace coming through us, more joy coming through us. We literally start to feel more abundance, the ideas, the creativity, the genius starts to birth itself. So these qualities start to emerge from us when we are aligned with the vibration of the Most High. Now, with that context on it, what's your perspective? Is your perspective changing? Is it shifting? Is there more clarity about the topic? Could you come off mute and just share with what I just said in the context? What would you tell our listeners, in reference to that?
Yes, a little more clearer about the vibration.
So put it in your own words.
My words. I wasn't thinking about anything. Like to see anything. I was just listening to you.
Yeah. So what we have in simple terms, right? In simple terms, is that the vibration of the Most High is our Creator. And when we're living in that space and we're living from that space, what happens now is that becomes our dominant frequency. Now think about this. If you are constantly living in a feeling of love and peace and joy and feeling abundant, feeling a overflowing sense of gratitude and thankfulness for being alive, now you are able to do whatever you need to do, go through the various challenges that present themselves on this planet, and you'll be able to live at a higher level. I've been able to do that now, and sometimes some people say, "Man, how come you work so consistently? How come you just you always show up, you're always reliable?" And it is simply not because I'm different or special or better than anyone. It's only that I've been practicing silent meditation for many years. I've learned the affirmative prayer. I've been doing my spiritual study, high-minded conversations, and I've understood the importance of life visioning and selfless service and also fellowshipping with the right group of people. And what that does, it infuses your awareness, it infuses your sense of being and self with those higher attributes like persistence, consistency. You become reliable. You're someone that people can count on. Whatever you say you're doing, you're always doing it. You're never ever someone that will not do what you say you're going to do when you're living from that vibration, because the energy that you need to support yourself, like for example, just having this session and committing to do this session, it's not based on the number of people that show up or how many people that view it. It's the delivery of this information and knowing that eventually as people catch on and realize, wow, there's something here, then more and more people are going to get attracted to it. And that's the essence of what happens when you can live from that space. It gives you so much strength that you can overcome anything at all that you're dealing with, any challenge at all that you have to wrap yourself, that you may have to embrace, in the process of developing oneself. So what are some of the practices that you do? And, before I ask you that question, because that question is to help other people who are listening. And, we have been having this conversation for some time, about what it is that we should do to be able to have the vibration of the Most High we're talking about it as the vibration of the Most High today, but essentially it is allowing the Creator's life and our life to be aligned in such a way that the Creator is us, living as us. Our Creator is living through us. Our Creator is living as us. Our Creator is using our life in a way that will bring more glory to creation. So from your perspective, what are some of the things that someone could do, understanding now we're talking about, in a sense, maturing to where the vibration of the Most High becomes active in us, where the high vibrations of love and peace and joy and those frequencies are active in us, and we are feeling loving, we're feeling joyful, we're feeling peaceful, we're feeling abundant, we're feeling our divine health, we're feeling all of these different attributes and qualities rising up in us. What are some of the things you think individuals could do to be able to feel those frequencies and vibration of the Most High? What do you believe?
Well, most of all, we have to pray. Pray first of all to the Most High, and we have to pray and we have to show more love to one another. More love and I'm thinking.
That's good.
Thinking.
So start with pray, right? Pray, the word pray and the word affirm are basically the same, right? The word pray and the word affirm. Because when you're praying, it seems one of the things that we have been conditioned to do and the way we've been taught is to pray to our Creator. So many I would think about praying, we think about saying something to our Creator outside or in heaven, right? Which is an error, because our Creator lives in us and our Creator has given us everything that we need. So what happens is that we have to come in alignment with our Creator, where we are speaking from our Creator, which means we're praying from God, not to God. And that shift in orientation, when you realize that only words that God needs to hear from us is thank you, because God has given us everything that God could possibly give us, which is to give us God in us as our life. Without God's breath, you and I couldn't breathe. Without God's energy, you and I couldn't talk. Without God's spirit, there would be no physical body. There'd be no planet, there'd be no oceans, there'd be nothing. So we've heard that the earth is the large and the fullness thereof. So without our creator, there's nothing. So it's our creator
Nothing.
that is inside of everything, including us. So what our
Right?
creator has done for us is to give our creator's life to us. And now you and I have the responsibility to speak into existence the things that are aligned with the highest and best in our creator. Now, one thing that you said that's so powerful is that we should be more loving. Now, when we choose to be more loving to those around us, we're starting to align ourselves with the highest and best in us, which is our creator. When we start to be more loving and say more loving things and talk from a standpoint of being more peaceful and more joyful in the way we exist, that means we're now praying, because every word that comes from our mouth is a prayer. Because here's what happens: our creator is in us. That's why there's this verse that says that you should speak only blessings, never speak curses. Because I, which is our creator speaking to us through this verse, says that I will have to make all of heaven and all of earth bear witness to what you have said. So in other words, our creator is guiding us and trying to give us a little encouragement. Do not speak anything except blessings, because I have to make all of heaven, all of earth bear witness to what you said. Meaning that there's no choice in it. Our creator doesn't have a choice, because if you speak something negative, speak something that you do not want to necessarily experience, our creator still has to manifest what you spoke. So we have to be careful about what it is that we're speaking, what it is that we're,
Speaking.
yes, because it is coming back to us. So when we say pray
Yeah.
to our creator, it's not like we need to beg and beseech and ask, for something. What we need to do is to decree, declare, and announce from the depth of our being and speak it into existence what it is that we want to see manifest. What is it that we want to see happen? So we have to use those two most powerful words very carefully. I am. I am healthy. I am strong. I am powerful. I am loving. I am kind. I am someone that brings value to people. I am someone that continues to help people to elevate and to rise to higher levels of living. We have to use our life in that way, where we're speaking uplifting things. We're speaking things from ourselves, right? So prayer, I agree with you, pray, but not pray to, pray from. And I hope you
From.
caught that,
Okay.
because what we need to do is to
Yeah.
realize that our creator is in us. And because our creator is in us and the words that we're speaking are being spoken on behalf of our creator, then whatever we're speaking is going to be born. We're going to bear the consequences or the benefits of what we're speaking. So it's really, really, really very important that we speak highly. Hey, Mark, that we speak highly, right? So the other thing that you mentioned about being loving will allow for us to embody the vibration of the Most High. So we are able to speak from a loving, kind standpoint, and it allows for us to elevate to the point where we can literally be revealing the love, the joy, the peace, the wisdom, the creativity, and the genius from our being, and we become much more abundant in how we're living, right? So those are two great things. So did anything else come to mind as to how we could embody the vibration of the Most High? How could we have more love flowing through us, more peace flowing through us, more joy, more abundance, more prosperity? You want to go ahead and give it another shot? Anything else came to mind? Yeah, Annette, we're listening. All right. So here's it. As we we've been here 25 minutes, so we're drawing to a close, right? So here's a simple thing about the vibration of the Most High. Okay, Annette, you could go ahead again.
What I talked about love already. I was thinking about. Like I forgot what I was thinking about.
All right, that's cool. All right, we sometimes lose our train of thought. So in
Yeah.
simple terms, right? In simple terms, the vibration of the Most High. It is the frequency of our creator that we are seeking to embody. We're seeking to have that become active, where we literally feel the love, feel the joy, feel the peace, feel abundance, feel creativity, feel genius coming through us. Literally feel it coming through your being. And there are 7 practices that I have learned, right? 7 practices, ladies and gentlemen, that will help us to be able to embody this, right? 7 practices. And these practices, if you use them, you'll find that they'll bring you great benefit. All right. And Annette, if you could mute your line so that there's a little feedback from your side. So here are the 7 practices. First, fellowship. Make sure that you're putting yourself around the right people that are seeking to have that high frequency, that want to live from that space. And yes, there's still a lot of people on the planet who, may not necessarily value that or even understand it to seek it out. So you have to be mindful to ensure that you surround yourselves with individuals who are aligned with wanting to come up into that high frequency. The number 7, so I'm going to count 7 to 1. Number 6 is selfless service. Give up yourself without the need to get something in return. So you're sharing maybe food with people, or you're providing clothes for those who are, without clothing, or maybe helping to provide shelter for those who may not have it right now. And you're helping to make the world better. Maybe you want to, put some trees into the rainforest, and you go and plant trees in the forest, or you're doing something to try and, protect the animals in a particular endangered species. You're doing something to bring value without the purpose of return of a financial reward. All right, a selfless service. And then number 5 is life visioning. Life visioning is a very powerful technology wherein you start to go within during your time of reflection and meditation and ask our creator, what is the creator's idea of the creator's life as our life? So what is it that the creator is seeking to do by means of you and I? Is the creator seeking to, live as an artist to us, live as a speaker, a trainer? Is our creator seeking to live as a medical doctor, that carries out great operations that, the world has not yet seen at that level? All right. What it is that the creator is seeking to do by means of you and I, we have to ask. And in that way, by asking what is the creator's idea of itself as our life, then what starts to happen is that you start to walk in a different way as you start to get that guidance. You start to be told, you start to be shown, individuals start to come into your life that are going to help you to manifest a way in which you probably even never thought you would ever do. There's so many different things that I've done over the course of my time on this planet, even authoring a book, which I didn't think I was, even going to be doing. All right. So that's number 5. Number 4, high-minded conversations. As we are seeking to develop this aspect, high-minded conversations. This is what this is. It's not a one-way dump of information or a monologue. It is really a dialogue. Sometimes there's a group of us that participate in the discussion, and we are seeking by means of this discussion to eliminate some of the obstacles, the hindrances that are blocking us from revealing our great, glorious nature. All right. Number 3, okay, is spiritual study. What books are you reading? There are several great books out there that will allow for us to read and digest and study and allow for us to start to eliminate some of the obstacles and hindrances that have been blocking us. And then number 2, affirmative prayer. That's what we're talking about just now, Annette, that we need to speak affirmatively. We need to speak in a way that's aligned with the highest in us. So a lot of us don't recognize that we should pray from our creator, not to our creator. Our creator only needs to hear the words thank you, because everything has been given to us. Everything that we could ever hope for, need, and desire is already loaded and coded in our being. So we have the responsibility to use the gift of that life to go into this world and speak in ways that are aligned with the high vibration of our Most High. And that's where the vibration of the Most High comes in, where we have to practice over time to speak in those terms. So you're always speaking in words that uplift and not tear down. You're always speaking in words that will elevate and not bring down. So those ways of being is something we have to practice, because the world conditions us to look at life from a worst case scenario. We generally do not look at life from the best case. We look at life from the worst case. So we have to recondition ourselves to look at life from the best and not the worst. Whenever something is about to happen, the mind automatically goes to, oh, what's the worst thing could happen here? What if this? What if that? What if let's say you're late for work and you have a job and your boss is always complaining about you being late for work, and keep being late, you're going to get fired. Then you get up one morning late, or you run into traffic and the traffic is blocking you, you cannot get out of the traffic. You're going to be late for work. Your mind goes crazy. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. If I lose my job, then what am I going to do? I won't have food. I can't pay the bills. I'm going to be kicked out. All of those things start to run into the mind, as opposed to, well, you know what, I'm going to reach out to my boss, take some pictures of the traffic, show him what's going on, let him know that I'm going to seek to do what I can do for work while I'm in traffic so that I could make it more productive. And you think about that from a best case standpoint rather than the worst case standpoint, so that you could use the situation to look at it positively than look at it negatively. All right. So that comes from practice, where if you keep practicing to speak affirmatively, speak positively, after a while, anytime you find yourself in a situation, you retrain your mind to look at it from a best case scenario. So your mind shows you best case scenarios because you retrained your mind instead of your mind being conditioned by the world to look at it from a worst case scenario standpoint. All right. And then number one practice that we need if we're going to really truly have the vibration of the Most High is silent meditation. That is where we're soaked in by the presence of our Creator. The presence of our Creator, we become available to it when we open up ourselves in silent meditation, where the presence now, the vibration of the Most High starts to infuse us, and we literally start to come up higher. It will literally affect every cell of your body. Every cell of your body will eventually become aligned with the vibration of the Most High. You'll express divine health and well-being if you continuously walk in that vein. And you take time every morning and every night to invest it in becoming still, so that you could listen, so that you could really hear, you know, that silence. You can hear that silence. I know, hear the silence, right? Yes, you will hear silence, meaning that you literally get to a point where there's nothing going on inside of your mind except the silence. And of course, it gets interrupted with the human mind ranting off from time to time. But you'll have sometimes milliseconds, seconds, moments, minutes of silence where you're now feeling the presence of the Creator as your life. You become aware, you now know, you're no longer walking with any sense of anxiety and fear and worry and fretting. You know, these things start to fall away from you. You become really emboldened and empowered to go out into the world and to do something magnificent. So that's the vibration of the Most High, right? That's the vibration of the Most High, right? This is really, 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 really exciting, right? So, man, I'm fired up. I'm excited about you know, life. I'm excited about where we are and what it is that we're gonna do. And man, I'm fired up. So we're gonna close today. This is our last talk until January, right? So we're not gonna do any more talks next week Sunday, the Christmas Sunday and stuff like that. We're gonna take a break until January to do these talks, and then we're gonna heat things back up for 2023, and we're gonna run right through again until the end of the year. You know, we have had these talks pretty much all throughout the year. It's been really, really, really valuable, added value to me, and a lot of people have given us great feedback. So thank you very much for showing up. Really appreciate you. And we need to unmute and bless one another before we jump off of here, right? So let's go ahead and unmute. And I bless you, Annette, and your life is magnificent. I bless you, Annette, and your life is magnificent. I bless you, Mark, and your life is magnificent. I bless you, Ed.
I bless you, Annette, and your life is magnificent. I bless you, Harry, and your life is magnificent.
Thank you. Thank you. And I bless you all, and your lives are magnificent too. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Ene was here, and others who are going to be listening to the recording. Thank you for showing up. Love and appreciate you all. It's been great.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, bye-bye.